Hi guys. Okay, so today I'm going to, I guess, make a vlog, but to all of my viewers, as you know, if you follow me, you probably watch my videos on about my life and also my job, my careers, and so you all know that I used to work in fashion and that I talked a lot about trend books. Now, let me just say that these videos are going to be long, so I'm probably going to have part 1 and part 2, and this is part 1. And I'm just going to talk about trends. In the second part, I'm going to show you my trend books. And so if you want to skip part 1 and go to part 2, go right ahead. I really adore making theme boards and just inspiring somebody or just myself for a collection. Okay, so what are trend books? Trend books are, for example, there's a French trend book called Péclair, which was my dream to get into that, and then I didn't. I just went into fashion and I worked in a studio, in a textile studio. But just to back up a bit, I'm just gonna tell you, like, basically what I did is I worked in a textile studio, and what textile studios do is that they make the pattern for textiles. And so where do they get the colors and the patterns from? Well, they get them from being inspired by some books. And these books, yeah, and they cost a lot of money. And so, you know, but designers and even just regular studios buy them so that they can build all of their collection. So really, what my job would have been was to do research, and I love to do research. Now, I have some trend books of my own. Okay, this was a trend book that I made back in school, '96, and it was one of my first trend books. And I remember with this trend book, I was pretty accurate on some of the trends that came out later on in the following years. So I remember going to New York with this trend book and going into one of the studios, and there was this guy in there. He was pretty important, and he said, you know, I'm looking at your book and I really like it, and you're going to go far if you pursue this career. Well, I didn't pursue it because I got into other things, because I knew like languages, so they used me for other things, unfortunately. But I'm just going to talk about trends for a bit before I show you my trend book. Let me just start off by saying that trends are come and go, but really, you know, class and elegance stays. So yes, we study trends, of course, but then do we actually follow them? Who follows them? So I went to school in Milan, right? So it's Milan, you think the fashion capital, yeah, and everybody thinks, you know, things start over there. You know, new ideas come from Milan, but you're wrong. It's not like that. Okay, Italy is not not creative. I don't want to say is not creative, but it's very classic. So if you go to Milan, the real Milanese, so the real person that is there, is very close-minded and very classic. He wants elegance. He or she wants just perfectly fitted clothes, and that's what they're good at. They're good at perfection, design, elegance, and you know, that's not trendy. Okay, so where do the trends come from? The trends come from the street. The street, like, people make trends. Okay, nobody invents things anymore. If any designer really in the past 40 years hasn't invented anything, they've just taken from the past. Okay, the last designer who invented something was Coco Chanel, and she, in a way, just even her. I mean, she took a men's fashion and just transferred it on to women, and that whole movement was great. It was very innovative, and there was actually something new there. And then, you know, after that, everything is just like kind of a copycat kind of situation. Even Giorgio Armani. I mean, Giorgio Armani is a wonderful designer, but he's not really invented anything. I mean, yeah, so he's made the suit for a woman, for women, like the suit, the pant and the jacket very loose. But hey, I mean, that was already done back in the 20s. And so as you can see, even Dolce Gabbana, they haven't invented anything new. They haven't really done anything like extremely innovative. They've just kind of like worked with the Sicilian fashion and the bustier, which is like the corsets, which were in fashion back in I don't know when. So and then you've got these like upcoming designers. I think the only ones who have really been inventing anything is like Yamamoto, who works a lot with the fabric. So they, you know, trends are hard to understand where they come, but they come from the streets. So obviously they don't come from Italy, and they come from maybe England, like London, and now it's a lot of trends are coming from the northern part of Europe. That's really big and innovative, and people are just throwing a lot of ideas at you, and that's great. French people are also kind of like innovative and very new. You know, trends are what? Like, you have to have your own personal style, and then like trends build upon that. Okay, so there's not many people around in the world with their personal style. And even if you look, going back to Giorgio Armani, he has always dresses in the same way. He doesn't follow trends, because following trends is not it's not something, you know, people that artists do and creators do. They make the trends. Like, so Giorgio Armani wears black jeans and a white v-neck t-shirt. That's all he wears. Ferré used to wear a suit, and that's all he wore. Who else? Even Dolce Gabbana, yeah, well, they're a bit more like trendy. In fact, they're a bit like cheesy too. I mean, I love Dolce Gabbana, but God, I mean, all they do is like things for the masses, and very like in your face kind of designs, and you know, even them, their style is very trendy. And so trends, you know, are researched like many years before. So what happens? You have like fashion shows, and you sit, and you've already, like, we're in summer, we're already seeing the fashion shows for winter. Well, these designers really have like thought about their collection like a year before, and from that year they bought a textile book. Now the textile books go back 2 years. So basically we're like back 2 years. So now already the trend books are making the fashion for like in 2 years time. So it's really complicated, but so I just adore these books. So anyway, so that was part 1 of this video, and trends.